We have some stuff. Early morning at Palace Resina, so we can do coronation celebrations. Let's do this one first. The morning after my coronation, I was woken. I was woken up by a knock on the door. It took me a few seconds to remember where I was. The royal bedroom on top of the top floor of the residential wing of Palace Resina. Made the one in the Taurus Palace in Monquise look shabby. When it gold trimmed the covered the walls. I was alone in bed that could have easily stepped four. I'm remembering my old days, aren't I? The knocking on the door continued. Who is it? The door opened and Pavel gracefully stepped in. He's the head butler, and I was very mean. I believe I was very mean to him. In the years I've been gone, the groundskeeper's son had worked his way up to chief butler. I've seen him on visits to the palace, but we've rarely exchanged words. Now he's the head of my royal household. You said you wanted to be woken up this time, Your Majesty. Yes, I did. It's best to get a head start while the day's still young. Nice to see a familiar face. Oh, what a nerve. What nerve? It's his first day as king. He's gonna be nice. Also, I'm afraid that he's going to hurt me. Likewise, I'm happy to serve you. We briskly drew back the heavy curtains. Sunshine flooded the room. I trust you slept well? Yes, don't tell him. I'm glad, he says. Pulling out items of clothing. Why don't you join your family downstairs? I'll have your outfit ready by the time you're finished eating. Won't you eat with us? That's not him. That's not our guy. Very well. Don't worry, Majesty. I'll make sure you're the best dressed king in Rizian history. Even more fashionable than Darius the Debonair? Even more fashionable than... Yeah, that's what I said. I wasn't aware that such a monarch existed, but yes, I'll do my best. Enjoy your breakfast. In the eastern dining room, an enormous breakfast spread had been laid out. My mother was already sitting at the table, digging spoons in the single grapefruit half. Really? That's all you're eating? How do you think I stayed this trim, darling? Despite the early hour, my mother was already in her full makeup. She dabbed her lips with a napkin. Very, very regal woman. Hope you're satisfied with yesterday's coronation. Your father wasn't nearly as well attended. What can I say? The people love me. It's only because of the TV cameras that was his fault. It's mostly your fault. It's only because of the TV cameras. Oh, don't sell yourself short. What did he say to you before he died, by the way? I never asked. Let's see. He did mention that. Take back the lands that were lost. Let's keep it private. Boys always did have your secret. It's a pity you didn't live to preside over my homeland's big return to Rizia, but soon you will. I'm sorry, what? Oh, because she's from Zeal, I remember. Zeal will be ours again, so will Pales. Yes. It shall be mine. My kingdom. Yes. I don't care much for Pales, but I don't have to tell you how much Zeal means to me. Of course, you're from there. But let me nattering on keep you from eating. King must need energy. King needs energy. She handed me a risette. Traditional rice and beans, custard tart. The crust was exceptionally flaky. Just then, Nita came bounding down the stairs. Isn't it a lovely morning? You were too old to be bounding down the stairs, my daughter. I know they got lost on the way here. Why don't you tell me this place had such a big library? They didn't want you to get holed up in there all the time. Grandmother's got to see her granddaughter every so often, you know? Mina eagerly took a plate and started piling high with pastries. Oh my word. We do have a problem with this child, don't we? Not too many of those. The sweeter the taste, the wider the waist. Don't you agree, Ramus? It's a special occasion. It's a special occasion. Our diet can start tomorrow. It's true. There you go. She gave an exaggerated sigh of pleasure. My mother rolled her eyes. Suit yourself. Now, if anyone in this place could make a halfway decent strudel, that would be worth ruining one's figure for. Well. Father, I wanted to ask you something. You know that I'm 18 now. You look like you're way older than 18, my darling. Time to start taking on more responsibilities. Gotta start thinking about to study. Don't even behind finding you a husband. I'm not gonna say that. That old, how time flies. I'm gonna say yes and basically, tell her to fuck off, basically. Well, she has to study, right? That's not quite what I had in mind. Thinking I'm old enough to accompany you into your council me. Oh, yeah, that's fine. It's unusual for a female to join the council, I know, but didn't you do the same when you were my age? Well. Very well. And Lizzie the Great is a huge legacy for me to live up to. That's very true. We have a history of it. Women being in charge, you shouldn't have to worry about living up to anyone's legacy. You're great in your own right. My grandmother's achievements weren't as notable as everyone says. Or greatness is something you're born with, my daughter. You can't glean it off others. I say she's great in her own right. Build her up. She's my only daughter, after all. Liza is the most beloved queen in our history. Of course, people compare me to her, I suppose. You're getting ahead of yourself, sweetheart. The crown is on your father's head right now, not yours. That's very true. What your father needs is for a lovely little face to be seen in the princess is you deserve the ultimate example of beauty and grace in the country. Now, mother, we both know Rena is more than a pretty face. That's not the image of a princess. She's involved in politics. I don't see why I shouldn't let her. She's gonna do something stupid. So no. I'm a bit of a megalomaniac. It's true that you will learn more about how the world works being out in it, not by shadowing me. That is true. That part is true. Yes, go study somewhere. Going to balls won't teach me how decrees are made or how to negotiate with foreign leaders. Only time served on the council will do that. You want to spend your best years of your life cooped up in that den of snakes? The council isn't some wise, all-knowing entity. Everyone is only looking after their own house and their own stature. God help you if you get in the way of either of those. My councils represent many cumulative decades of experience. I always found it odd that we entrusted the country's entire direction to a hand of privileged nobles. My father would have allowed his council to run roughshod over him. I will not make that mistake. I'm not going to talk bad about my father. I'll just say I think it's odd that we have the entire decision-making apparatus set up to just be nobles. Should be for the best. The best of the best. Step out in public as much as I can. That's good. Very well. Anyway, to start, I better refresh myself of Rizian law. Rizian law. You violated the law. You do realize there shall be nothing but a liability to you in that room. Yeah, it's good in education. I've been doing it before. It's an asset to have more of us. Hope you're right. Clock struck 9:15. My first council meeting was starting soon. You always believe that you make a good king, even if you didn't already show it. I really don't care what my father thought of me. You won't be good, I'll be the best. Thanks for saying that. Let's go with that. Nice and neutral. Ooh, new country relationship upgrade. Neutral. Unfriendly. Allied. Horseback riding. Okay. Nothing too exciting. Get some more news. Coronation party at Isa Palace marred by hooliganism. Ah. Oh, okay, so they showed up. Okay, so they're trying to end they're foreigners, trying to end our monarchy. Those animals. Valkyr, read the report. Baron and Burnus and Valkyr for loyalty after absence. Julio and Octavia Torres. Oh, wow, they have like religion and everything? What the heck is this? Vulnerability. Galakapapism. Okay, great. Okay, it does not say who these people are. Very well. Qualis. 1950 to be an exceptional wine year. Promise the red. Very nice. Let's see, coronation celebrations. Let's set the scale of the festivities. A small parades, banquets, and balls in all cities. Let's see, we can spend some money, and it would be good to have the authority, right? Let's do that. Sounds fun. And we have the Grand Vizier. We can read the report. Let's read the report. Course first allegiance ceremony, House of Delegates majority leader, special session where they took an allegiance to the crown. Very good. Okay, so basically we have everybody in politics more or less is loyal to us. Even the reformists are kind of like, they're okay with us as a person, you know? But don't worry, before the end of the game we'll be put through enough situations that we will probably provoke an armed uprising against us, which is part of the fun of playing. Now, let's see about this, Mr. Vizier, Grand Vizier, in fact. My uncle? Was it not? The rid of the Royal Council chamber was longer than I remember. I took a moment to catch my breath in front of the carved oak doors. Hurry up, father, it's not very kingly of you to be late. True king is never late. Better stop that when we're inside. Just give me a second, you're wrong. I'm very kindly of you to show up whenever I want. It's very true. Other kings don't have bullet wounds in their legs. Let's say, very kingly of me to show up whenever I want. After collecting my thoughts, I pushed open the door and walked in. Everything was just as it had been in my youth. The high domed ceiling with its skylight that shone into the depths of the room, the oval mahogany table, the tall-backed red velvet chair where my father used to sit. The room was empty except for one man, my uncle. When Hugo saw me, he sprang to his feet. Welcome, your majesty. No need to stand on ceremony with me, Hugo. Please sit. You're my uncle. Hugo sat down with a smile. We'll meet everyone soon enough, but I thought a private chat with your Grand Vizier would be in order first. His eyes traveled to the doorway where Vina was still standing. Although it seems I won't be as private as I was expecting. Are you staying, Princess Vina? My daughter gave a shy nod. Yes, Uncle Hugo. I'm sitting in on the King's Council meetings. He's going to learn from experience. Just like I did. He frowned. By all means, then, Your Highness, have a seat. Vina walked over to the table and I made my way to the red velvet chair. How's your son, your lunatic son? He smiled fondly. Rico's still Hellraiser, that we both know and love, but governing ease has instilled a real sense of responsibility in him. It's kind of terrifying, but okay. Hope you can make it out for a visit soon, both of you. As I listened to him, my eyes drifted towards the black wall. It was covered with portraits of Rizia's previous kings, including a newly painted likeness of my father. My dear brother, I do miss him, but I dare say it's time we had fresh blood on the throne. It's been quite some time since you last sat in these chambers. I've heard an overview for you. Would you like to hear it? Very well. Go ahead. Oh boy. Rizian period value was that guy. Collect biz. Okay. Like your father and grandmother before you, you alone have the power to shape the country by passing royal decrees. As is tradition over 100 years, each ruler has passed a sovereign transition and clemency decree to start their own reign. The kingdom will be expecting your decree very soon. Tradition is the enemy of progress. We should not be bound by the past. Thank you for your advice, Uncle. It's comforting to have your wisdom. Decrees will play a significant role in my reign. I would never go against the traditions of Rizia. I'm looking forward to this all my life. Finally, I have the power to make decisions completely unchallenged. That's a very, very concerning thing to hear. I'm going to butter up my uncle by saying it's good to have you around, Uncle. I'm happy you're around. Hopefully that keeps his crazy son in line. Your humility is appreciated, but remember, being king is about making hard decisions, not just following advice. Indeed. Okay, so we're going to sign our new decree. State this in approval. The king has the final say. Should I neglect the House of Delegates and the legislature assembled? My brother set up to appease the opposition after the uprising. That was one of his better ideas. It was a cowardly move. What about it? That's right, his theater of puppets. I like that. I like the theater of puppets. useful. Hugo pursed his lips. The only way for him to stay in power. Rizia could not survive past 1920s without some semblance of democracy. His Majesty Valero presided over the last elections in 1949. The Rizian National Coalition secured a House majority, as always. There was decrees and issue official approvals or disapprovals on the laws passed by you and the Council. As Grand Vizier, it's traditional for me to attend their sessions and pass any relevant information on to you. Why can't I attend? What do you think would be like the consequences if I ignored them? Sounds like a waste of time. Thank you, I'll be counting on you. Maybe it would be a good idea for me to show up. I think it would be quite long and tedious. That makes sense. I would advise you to take the delegates' input into account. No good can come of ignoring the will of the people. Thank you for letting me know. Do the delegates really represent the people or the nobility? And if they disagree with me, so what? I'll have them fired, or better, beheaded. Hugo winced. Keep in mind that Rizia is also playing on the international stage, Your Majesty. We don't have to kowtow to dissenting opinions, but we must tolerate them. Fortunately, the delegate speaker, Daria de Rava, is a Tauras loyalist through and through. She should give you no trouble. The opposition is small, but worth keeping an eye on, especially the new leader, Manus Sazon. You could give me a meaningful look. I looked at Sazon, the traitor's son. Ah, the traitor's son? He's the one that shot me. He just stood to my leg. As you know, Duke Lucas Sazon was executed for his role in your kidnapping. His wife Angelica was sent into exile. I told you you have to kill the people. You gotta get rid of them. If she remains under strict orders not to leave the island, no such restrictions are placed on the son. Oh my god. How do you fail this hard? Oh, Kroot. Kroot is the... Ooh, boy. Parliamentary Republic. They are... Alliance of Nations. Okay. He promises to give a voice to the common man. His promises to give a voice to the common man seem to be resonating with the populace. Part of it, at least. Common man, he's descended from nobility. I'd like to meet this fellow. We've got to keep him on our sides. Definitely. His father shot me, so definitely. We will. You go close the folder. Well, while I'm on this subject, a word about our houses. Tauras? Family controls the province of Valencris, as well as the city-state of Iza. How's Valencris doing? Table as always? Very good. Herbutus, distant cousin. And she could take his place. A few years maybe, I still don't feel ready. No, you have to go now. Save us from these weird distant cousins. I don't like them. So if I go in and tell you to go, I don't be mean. You'll be smarter than I was when I became Duke, but it's your decision. Let's go with that. Butter her up a little bit. She blushed. Okay. Thank you, father. Hugo tapped his fingers on the table. In any case, Your Majesty, I don't expect any trouble from them during your reign. Marines are healthiest of the provinces and least affected by crime. Keep your lives comfortable, and the locals will stay loyal to you. What's going on in Iza? Yes. His face hardened. Iza's been difficult since the Sazon rebellion. Even more so now that native Rizians are in danger of being crowded out by migrants. Considering the circumstance, I believe my son is doing just fine. Yes, very much so. Although he's obviously, it's not the migrants who are the danger, it's the bigotry. I'll find a way to help him out. I've been friendly with him in the past, so. Keep our friends close. Obviously keep our enemies closer, but keep the friends close. About Rizia Imperi, that's the... I see, so that's like the capital of the country. Oh, it's more crucial to retain the favor of the major corporations that are based there. It's nonsense that the corporations would be concerned about reading my favor. Yes, definitely. Healthy perspective, Your Majesty. The Pale's administrative district is also the jurisdiction. Right. He nodded approvingly. As for the other houses, how about Suzerain? Aside from Rizia, which is down to Rico's governance, all of Brennus is still their territory. That was a mistake. Nobles there swore freely to the crown and siege for keeping a hold on their cities and estates. The return of Angelica's boy could test their loyalty, and he is their rightful duke after all. Can we, like, shoot him, have my secret security forces, my death squads take him away? Yeah, far too soft. At the moment, they're the weakest of the three houses. You'll do well to ensure they stay that way. I very much agree. As we forget, Wayland is scheduled to return Zeal to Rizia next year. Cezannes expect the region to become part of the province as it was before the uprising. That's interesting. Yes. Giving it to Brennus would probably upset the balance of power. It's very presumptuous of them. We could use it as a bargaining chip. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A bargaining chip, or we could be... It is quite presumptuous. Let's say a bargaining chip and see what he has to say about that. Now you're thinking like a king. Ah, good. He agrees. How about a Zaro? They're the Cardis Montaclar, and then the stewards of the Rizian military. You must be aware that Patriarch Tedius is poor health. A shame I never got to know him. His daughter Lucita, the Duchess of Montaclar, volunteered to take his place as War and Security Counselor. You'll meet with her soon. She also know that factions within her province have begun calling for the return of Pales again. I agree. Completely and totally. Pales has been for Rizia for a century? No. Finish what the general started. Be careful, we don't know how the last campaign against the Grand Duchy ended. That's true. Well, I hope that was helpful. One more thing, as you're aware, a few years before your father's death, he reinstated the Golden Guard. Personal security, and where are they now? Here, sir, ready and able. For the first time I noticed a man standing in the corner of the room, I'm not very perceptive. He was wearing a tight-fitting golden blazer, barely concealed his muscular physique. Ooh. Titus Gordian, captain of the Golden Guard. Very good. Has he been in the room with us the entire time? Is the Golden Guard in the room with you right now? Golden Guard appears only if and when he's needed, sir. Ooh, powerful. That is, a dozen men have trained in the upper echelons of Rizia's elite military and police academies. Each is sworn an oath to protect the king and his family at all costs. Ooh, cool. Yeah, the costumes are a little bit obnoxious if they're all in gold. Let's see. What do they need the costumes for? When the plainclothes bodyguards be more effective? Having one that can be trusted? I trust them. I don't need all this. I can fit it myself. No, I got shot in the leg. So they're going to be grandmother as well. Great, I look forward to work for them. Wouldn't plainclothes bodyguards be more effective? Let's ask if they're watching Ravina. Yes, my men have eyes on Queen Mother as we speak. Very good. But didn't Queen Liza discontinue the Golden Guard because she thought that made the royals look elitist, and because she trailed off? Oh, she's a reformer. Because she thought they were getting too powerful. Sparkhorn First is less than a third of the size it once was. Father has always had a fondness for Rizian tradition, so he spared no expense in bringing the guard back, albeit in a reduced form. You and your men had better stay in line. That's no way to do that. It humbles me to be worthy of such an elite unit's protection. He was right to do so. The most important family in Rizia was the most important security force. I'll butter him up again. The humility is all mine, sir. Thank you, Titus. You may wait outside the chambers until the meeting's conclusion. Noon already. Shall we and the young heiress break for a glass of wine before the council convenes this afternoon? I don't drink, Hugo. Gladly. The timing, Grace. I'm just a porter now, Grace. Would be appropriate. What? Oh, I'm your superior now. I thought it was a supporter. Would be appropriate? No, that's silly. Gladly. Your father kept a store of vintage I can't even pronounce that in one of these cabinets. Ooh. What an intelligent and well-mannered young woman you've grown up to be, Your Highness. I know how overwhelming capital can seem compared to Marquis. If you ever have any questions, don't be afraid to come to me. Ina smiled politely. It's very kind of you, Uncle Hugo. Yes, too kind. Now that you say that, too kind, that is... He could be kind of dangerous. Because they are technically in line. No offers of advice? I wouldn't presume to know any better than you, Your Majesty. Of course, you can always come to me with questions as well. That is suspect. We have world decrees opened up, and we got all sorts of new stuff here. Coal deposits suspected in Havas. Okay. Good. We have coal deposits. Work on extracting those at some point. Unveiling the legacy of the Resident Empire. Groundbreaking development captured the Kingdom of Rizia's imagination. Archaeologists in the esteemed city of Topaz have it. What appears to be a major city of the long-lost Resident Empire. Interesting. Oh, we have one. Evisar. Oilfield on the verge of depletion. Oh, shit. Like I said, energy is going to be a major thing to worry about here. Territory of Zeal. Can't do anything. Oh, what's this? Okay, just that. Yeah, too much. Oh, they speak out against proposed binding regulations. Arcasian armed forces advanced in South China. Yes, this is the Vietnam War, I guess. Yes, it's the United States of America, basically. Cool. Some of the decrees. Sovereign transition and clemency. Takes one authority and it converts the transition. Sends a world pardon of 500 individuals convicted of minor offenses. Oh, that's easy. Sure. Housing for the Poor initiative or evacuation of Tope's ancient resident city. So that's a little bit less authority, a little bit less of budget, but we do get tourism. Now, what's turn construction? Oh, it takes about 2 turns. No, that's not minus, that's a tilde. Excuse me. Yes. Yeah, I'm losing my voice here. Too much reading, too much talking. Let's do it. Try to read a little bit less. Very well, now we have a Housing for the Poor initiative. They are mostly against it, but it will, it deals with the homeless and those who have them with extreme financial constraints. Tuning the social harmony. It's probably a good idea to do, even though it is a little bit more expensive, and they're not too friendly with it. They didn't like it, but fine. Right to housing enshrined. Guarantee housing to everyone with dwellings to be provided to the state to anyone who's homeless or otherwise unable to afford a roof above their heads. Nice. Topaz? Who knows? To restore to former glory. Awesome. Affordable Housing Initiative. Very nice. Introductory briefing from the Royal Council. Very well. It was late afternoon when Vina and I headed back to the chambers of the first council meeting. It was hot and my head still felt slightly fuzzy from the wine I've had before lunch. I was about to receive a lot of new information from my counselors. I hoped I could all keep it straight. As we crossed the palace gardens, I had a feeling I was being watched. Suddenly, I noticed a young man standing next to the path. Ah, this is Duke Suzerain. He smiled nervously. I hold no land, Your Majesty. You may use the title if you wish. You're the traitor's son. You're the man who would topple the monarchy. It's brave of you to approach me. Let's say it that way. It's brave of you to approach me. He tugged at his suit lapel. I wanted to introduce myself before our first official meeting. I may be the leader of the opposition, but I'm not your enemy. If you and I establish dialogue, I believe there's much we can accomplish for our country. Vina gave him an encouraging smile. I love you to say that. Oh, woman. I know, a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. I'm not uninterested in your proposition. I wish you could stay and talk. Don't speak to him, we're going to be late. You would stay away from me, even further away from my daughter. I'm not uninterested in the proposition. Very well. I'll leave the door open, even though I do want to kill this guy. She waved as he walked away. He seems nice. Are you fucking kidding me? Nice, my foot. Yeah, exactly. What the hell is that noise? Sorry about that. I thought somebody was at my door. So I looked back long enough to see a flash of gold. Titus. Okay, well, Hugo was already waiting for us. We entered the chambers. While waiting for an answer, Lucita Azara rushed in. The new Warren Security Council was younger than I had imagined. She's past her mid-30s. She carried herself with a mix of regal elegance and soldierly authority. Gentlemen, pardon my interruptions. She bowed towards me. Please accept House Azara's formal congratulations on your coronation, Your Majesty. I motioned for her to stand. Her eyes was fixated on my uncle's shirt as he raised himself. Hugo, Your Grace, your shirt is buttoned wrong. My uncle looked chastised. Would you like a coloring book? What kind of fucking commentary is this? He's part of this court now. I advise you to be more respectful. I meant this is a joke. Oh yeah, you mean no respect? Yeah. Yeah. He's cute. Real cute. Okay, so her brow wrinkled and she gave a curt nod. I see. General Tadius sends his regards, or he would have been or he would if he was capable of speaking in full sentences. Yeah, it's kind of concerning. Trying to be flippant, but I could sense emotion behind her words. I hope he heals swiftly. He's not going to heal, so let's just say it's a difficult time. It's a difficult time for you. Let me know if there's anything I can do. Push downward. Not a porcelain doll. Oh, my word. Rude. Rude. For God's sakes, Lorento, you don't need to hold the door open for me every time. I'm not as fragile as I looked. I keep telling you, how could I allow a door to close on such a gorgeous face? Oh, my word. Oy. Okay, so they might have an affair. Lorento smoothly removed his fedora, revealing a well-oiled mane of gray hair. Oh, Your Majesty, it is a pleasure and an honor to be in the room with you once more. Helena nodded. Her business-like demeanor briefly softened as she looked at me. I must say, it makes me proud to see you in that seat. If you show the same devotion as you did on King Valero's council, you'll make a fine ruler. This formality doesn't suit any of us. I don't need your approval. Thank you for... blah, blah, blah. I look forward to working with both of you. No need for flattery. Let's just be formal and say thanks for working with us. She looked at Vina. I'm pleased to see the young heiress here as well. A new Rizia the Great in the making. Vina blushed. I don't go that far, but I do hope you'll tell me about your time in Queen Lizia's court one day. That woman is ancient then. I'd love to. There's just a few updates I've got to share with your father first. Very well, continue. Well, not the entire council. The Grand Grisman is in Plavo, praying for the upcoming religious ceremony with His Majesty. He didn't need to involve himself in earthly concerns like our royal treasury. Very well. He put on a pair of half-moon glasses and then reached down into her purse, pulled out a thick leather-bound ledger, and flipped it open. Yes, we're having issues with energy and things like that, which is a concern. We're incredibly wealthy. What else do we need to know? I do, but I'd like an update from you regardless. Yes, I'm sure my daughter would appreciate a refresher course. I'm the party prince baby. I doubt anyone here has forgotten. She smoothly adjusts her reading glasses before continuing. One of the wealthiest countries in the Mercopian continent, but King Valero bequeathed us a number of challenges in that department. That's great. Where should I start? How about the budget? It's healthy, Your Majesty. Ah, good. We've been trading with Rumberg, and that's been good. It's quite high for our region, though of course there's still plenty of room for improvement. His Majesty King Valero is hesitant to increase the government spending, perhaps even too hesitant. Do not slander the Lay King. He's a miser. He had the right idea. If Rumberg stops importing from us, the surplus could disappear. That's true. Lord Rumberg is certainly put an end to decades of peaceful trade. I trust Rumberg, but it's never too wise for a country to rely too much on one trading partner. We need to diversify. Very astute, Your Majesty. I did have a number of alternative candidates in mind. Thank you, Mr. Esquibilo. Now, you'll get your chance to present those later on. For now, I will not point out that holding on to that surplus has not done Rizia any favors. We missed a number of investment opportunities that might have enriched us even further. That's true. Gotta spend money to make money, right? Including, of course, the opportunity to completely modernize the Rizian military. Helena pursed her lips. With all due respect, thus as Duchesses are not sure the military is king's number one focus. It pretty much is. It's close to it. It's like number 2, maybe. Certainly not. The money should be spent on the Rizian people, not weapons. No, it isn't. We should invest our surplus in Rizian industries. We'll get back what we spent triple-fold. Let's just say we like the military. I like big guns. Yes, and we definitely can't rely on Wayland. Rumber we could, to a degree, rely on certain things, but Wayland, no. Ultimately, shouldn't that money be spent on the Rizian people? Think of the advances we were able to make during the Rizia era, the Queen's investments and citizen welfare. Why can't you just invest in that? So, be a silent observer, my daughter. Silent observer. Or we could say true words that have been spoken more pragmatically. On the other hand, there can be no welfare without security. But good is health or happiness if we're unable to defend ourselves. Hugo put up a hand. I will point out that Rizia's wealth and my mother's judicious handling of it is one of the main factors that allowed us to survive the century of revolutions. However, those were difficult times. Different times. As a modern nation in an era of increasing superpower and influence, we were expected to have a certain standard of military. You're right, Hugo. Other countries might compete to have the biggest guns, not Rizia. There's a fact that we stand between two highly contentious regions of Zealand pales. It's a big issue. Your enthusiasm is heartening. I personally believe spending should be directed elsewhere. Further questions? No. Yes, how about gold? Gold is the backbone of the Rizian economy. It's run by the Rizian Royal Gold. Of course, the CEO. Why do you talk about him? It's Rizian Royal Gold, after all. It isn't ours. Since 1935, none of this shit control of some idiot. Marcelo Montoro. That's mine. It's Royal Gold. Mr. Montoro, who insists on being called Rusty, currently owns 70%. Oof. How is that even allowed to happen? Good question. He looked at Elena. Rusty's first move in taking over the company was to sue your father's government for loss of revenue. Damn, so we reduced our share. Entire company should be nationalized, though we could say we want the original stake back, or just go, I don't know, that guy seems suspect. Let me read a little bit about this guy. How are only a few concrete facts known about his upbringing? Must be a middle-class childhood. Internship. Rapid rise in the ranks. Sharp business community and relentless ambition. That's concerning. He's good connections. And he's ethically questionable. Okay, he's like a puppeteer because he has connections to everybody very well. And he's recently been divorced. Well, I mean, you could just nationalize him, and then when people complain, you shoot them. But I don't think the game's going to let me do that. Like, he shouldn't be someone that should be, like, you know, causing us problems. The question is will I... He probably wants to nationalize it, knowing our character. Not that simple. The patent for RRG's proprietary mining technology was filed in Ventry City, Arcasia, and most of its financial assets are kept... Damn it. Yeah, it would totally strip it of value. Very well. And we are a dark trade stakeholder in the international trade zone. The blow of losing our minds and zeal and 15% of our RRG stake is quite reliant on gold from MITZ. Established shortly before you joined the Royal Council, was it not? Heard negotiations between Rizia, Volksland, Lesby, and Morella took over a year. How much say does the government have over operations in MITZ? When we get the zeal back, will we be able to get their gold back as well? Certainly hope so. Maybe mining it extensively, of course. That's the classic Wayland. 1952, so we got 1 year. Can we increase mining efforts? We can try. Very well. And there's coal, obviously, as well. How much do we have over... How much say do we have over MITZ? Okay, so everybody has to agree. Okay, we can get decisions without Mr. Montoro. Very well. What about energy now? Energy is another concern because I saw that our energy reserves are depleting. Through our state-owned energy company called the Rizia Oil and Gas, production of the former has slowed over years and is threatening to come to a complete halt. The latter, however, shows potential. So off the coast of Topaz, assuming enough money is invested into this expansion, we can expect it to fuel our kingdom for years to come. Ooh, very nice. We can spend our budget elsewhere as we wait for the access to new field south of whatever the heck that is. One shouldn't count one's pheasants before they've been bagged. Very true. It is close to Pales, isn't it? Tell me about this new field. I will let the treasurer speak. Extremely early stages. I see. So that's a good way to cause a war. Don't want a gas dispute on our hands. But I want war, so it's a good way to start a war. You know, gas disputes. She suppressed a smile. I like nothing more, Your Majesty, but protocol must be followed. I see. So they need to do more research, essentially. Nobody wants to repeat it. I want to, well, not a repeat, but... Let's see. Aren't your family reaching for a rematch? Rizia will win. If the Grand Duchy does not provoke us, we will not provoke them. We like the war. We were favor the war, so let's just say Rizia will win. Lucida winced. Now with our military in its current state, I put money into it. Don't be rude. As much as my family is clamoring for a repeat of the Pales campaign, I think it's best to ignore them. Ignore them? I don't know why we're even discussing military response. Proper diplomacy. Maybe. My daughter, you're a little bit too weak. In real life, there's always a winner and a loser. Yes, exactly, my daughter. Oh, but I'm going to gently cut in. You save the discussion for if and when we know more about the gas fields and questions. Fair. How much of it comes from taxes? I guess let's ask, just to see. Lowest tax rates in the country. Ooh, yeah. True government is called flat income tax. Those have no income to speak of. That's low, isn't it? That doesn't seem fair. Low-earning workers pay taxes while nobles don't? That does seem a little bit ridiculous. I'm not sure if my guy would care, though. We generate extra revenue by introducing estate or inheritance taxes? No. Let's not even suggest that. Bing chilling. Yes. We're the dictator in the making here. Watch your words, Mrs. Werner. Nobility may not have an income, but we are the foundation upon which Rizian society is built. Agreed. Without my family's manufacturing industry investments, for example, half of Card East Monteclair would be out of a job. Commoners should consider themselves lucky. 10% is far lower than elsewhere, indeed. Actually, could we raise that rate? We could probably afford to contribute a bit more in some aspect. Keep the tax laws the way they are. That makes sense. Yes, of course. We don't want to disincentivize families like yours. Cuisine wine industry be anywhere it is without our backing? In terms of profits and individual contributions, the like Chris is off the charts thanks to wine, gas, and tourism. But still suffering the effects of lost visa and zeal. But East Monteclair is doing well, to the point that business councils are complaining about an imminent shortage of skilled workers. Shortage of Rizian workers, Elena. These vacancies could easily be filled with migrants from Wayland or Deridia. It's a slippery slope, Mr. Escobile. Are you familiar with the Rizia's two-tier employment system, Your Majesty? Explain it. After the Wayland Civil War, began granting labor hand visas to Wazak migrants and a smaller number of Deridians. Labor hands may accept employment by Rizian industries, but they don't have the right to Social Security or other benefits, and there's a cap on how much they are allowed to earn. They're gonna make up most of our blue-collar workforce. Oh my god. How many people of our own even remain in this country if most of our blue... That's wild. They must be a significant portion of our population if they're most of the blue-collar workforce. Program did wonders for the economy when King Valero initiated, but as a result, we now have millions of workers in the country who are being treated like second-class citizens. Well, they are, so... treated the same working rights, especially if they're paying taxes. The system functions, I see no reason to change it. The visas were granted temporary residents. They're supposed to go home at some point. Well, we can't afford that now. Now can we? See where you're going with this, but granting them full employment rights would lead to a flood of uncontrolled migration. Not necessarily. Although we have very poor border protections, don't we? Let's be careful. Yeah, current day economy relies on the workers now. Well, the reason why they deserve an upgrade in status... Oh, shut up. I hate immigrants now. I hate immigrants in this game. Was access asylum where other countries did not. There must be some limit to our generosity. Paul, you once supported that stance as well, Your Majesty. I was a different person back in those days. I no longer support Su Umana or what the values it stands for. I did and still do. I'm all for diversity, but we Rizians cannot allow ourselves to become outnumbered. It seems like we already have been outnumbered. From forward of view, explaining foreign workers' rights is like a convenient solution. We'll have to find a way around it. You see what your standpoint, allowing migrants to earn money would curb the kind of black market activities that have been taking place in cities like Giza. Do you not fear the dilution of Rizian cultures and values? Or the infiltration of Fascinarists or Gallicanists into our rich society? He shrugged. Society's changed, Your Grace. I don't recall these considered being raised by the Burgundians who moved here after our alliance. Well, I'm concerned about them as well, actually. Well put. It's completely different than Rohingyas or blood relations. To the truth, I'm not thrilled about any of those groups. Nor am I, but the Rohingyas are a small minority compared to the Wezaks. Yeah, exactly. The people of this country will accept diversity up to a certain point, but if they feel the national identity is a threat, there will be consequences, of course. Which, by the way, I say wholeheartedly, I support the Grand Wiseman Ignatius's decision to impose a tax on non-native. Whoa. That is, kind of screwy. I see, so Lisita does not like that. And Elena was not comfortable. We seem to be veered off track when we get back to the questions about the economy. Yes, that's all the information that I need for now. That in a notes expression, contemplative. I'd like to discuss several economic considerations. Should anticipate potential expenses arising from our pending fiscal policies. Please elaborate. We gotta expand industrial production and construction, but we should make sure to have the energy to keep our facilities humming. Makes sense. Secondly, there's a matter of living standards, improving the quality of life for our citizens, and naturally leads to higher administrative expenditures. Thirdly, if we do decide to go to the Duchess Czar and expand our defense capabilities, keep in mind the cost to upkeep our armed forces will rise accordingly. Makes sense. Energy management forces its own challenges as we approach the limits of our grid capacity. We may incur additional storage costs. Thank you. Pay myself in the House Delegates. We were looking to everything running smoothly in the absence of clear guidance for your father. With the king of your caliber at the helm, there's no telling how we can soar. Rom the fiscally responsible. That's who we'll be known as. Very catchy, Your Majesty. No, it's not. Natural gas, more fruitful investment. I think it's probably a good idea. Because obviously gold, and we can't just grab the gold mining. So definitely, I think natural gas is the way to go. And they all enjoyed it. That's wonderful. Oh god, look at all these decrees. Oh my god. So many decrees. We can't do them. We don't have any cash. Very well. We have no cash. News. Flavo Abuz's grand ceremony is ready for the King Ramus consecration. Tarakuchi honors King Ramus. Unity Cortana suppresses protest in the south. Federalist Socialist Republic. Okay.